Let's get settled in here with my green tea. So, hello. I want to look at the continuing fallout of the abortion case over in Yankee Land because the overreaction is sheer lunacy. So, let's look at this hilarious coping article that is riddled to the gills with inconsistencies. So, I want to read a couple of lines from this. The Supreme Court is a tool of tyrants. You can see where this one is going, can't you? Should the Supreme Court indeed overturn Roe versus Wade, there is every reason to believe the decision will be unpopular. Yes, and I'm pretty sure it won't at all be misrepresented by publications as fine as yours, I'm sure, and used as a cattle prod to jolt and demoralize basic defeated Democrats to the ballot box. Thankfully, even according to CNN, that's not even in the top 7 of most pressing issues to Americans, of which the bottom was a mere 4%. So Democrats, I somehow doubt you'll have a frothing horde of baby killers trampling over each other to vote blue come November. But I want to make a point about the court because I find this argument funny, especially because the Americans will recoil in horror when you mention monarchy to them. And you want to say, lads, have you ever taken a look at your Supreme Court? Let's see, it is a body not democratically elected, but appointed. Lifetime positions to be apolitical and interpret the Constitution. Now, what does that sound like to you? Where do you think the Founding Fathers got that idea from, I wonder? The tool of tyrants. If it's the tool of tyrants, why are you so eager to pack the courts? It's almost as if you people are a bunch of unprincipled fucking hypocrites who have no problem with tyranny as long as you deem it morally justified. And no word of a lie, they bring that up at the end of this article. I was laughing so hard I had to meme it. Look at this. The lack of self-awareness is, it's simply delicious. Yet public opinion matters little to the right wing and conservatives. Really? Is that why all these woke companies are bleeding money and customers, is it? Because they're all producing ideological gold that's so popular? Is that why Democrats are not running for re-election, is it? Anyone remember a couple of months ago, Biden was asked about his miserable approval numbers, and he said, I don't believe the polls. No, much like Biden himself, these people have forgotten all about that. Although Biden probably forgot it happened about 10 seconds after he said that. The right's long war to ban abortion in the United States may be nearing its conclusion. Oh, fuck off, you disingenuous fake news peddling bunch of gits. It's not going to get banned, it'll just be delegated to the states. The draft opinion authored by Justice Samuel Alito, which is a badass name, by the way, argues that a right to abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions, which is true. And if you read this dribble, you will notice they don't ever bring that up. Women should not fear, he asserts later, because they are not without electoral or political power, which makes sense. It's get delegated to the states where they have those things. But you will notice that is completely contradictory to the previous point of banning it. Look at this. Electorally, however, their powers are limited by the influence of an anti-democratic conservative movement. They will continue an anti-democratic tradition. For heaven's sake, the court is supposed to be apolitical, to be immune from the scourge of democracy. That's the whole bloody point. And watching this whole situation play out is fascinating, undoubtedly insane, but fascinating, because I'll be honest, I find both sides kind of cringe, so when I see the mobs go at it, I like to sit on my aristocratic perch, pipe in hand, and watch the chaos. Because you'll always find some group with a splintering opinion on the matter. In this case, it'll be the Randians, and I like Ayn Rand's view on it, it being the life already in existence takes precedence over the potential life. They see individual sovereignty as the supreme reigning value in their philosophy, which, as you can imagine, tends to rather be more religious of the right. I remember Yaron Brook telling Michael Malice only smart people can be anarchists because it requires a level of abstraction divorced from reality. Which makes me laugh because I consider that the same for the Randians, which has a bit of a cult-like aspect to it. It's a great philosophy for individual agency, but if you're going to make it with a society, you need it to be like Bioshock's Rapture before it all went tits up. You need everyone to be of a morally homogeneous nature, otherwise it unravels really quickly. Rand's view seemingly operates under the presupposition the morality of man is set in stone. Because I find the outrage rather stupid, because I've said before, the way this whole affair has progressed, or rather devolved I should say, is it is now three-sided. There's 3 sides to the argument. There's pro-life, pro-abortion, and pro-choice has been relegated to this subtle gray area people don't want to tangle with. Pro-choice is sitting on the swings with its feet dangling going, I used to be part of this discussion. Because to me, you can be pro-choice and pro-life at the same time. And yes, I'm aware that sounds contradictory on face value, but look at the two sides. While they may encompass abortion overall, the bedrock foundations of their arguments are entirely different. If you say, I don't like abortion, that's a moral statement. But if you say, I don't like the state telling me what I can do with my own body, that is a political statement. It's entirely feasible to say, I don't like abortion or the state telling people what they can and cannot do with their own bodies. However, I recognize, should it be outlawed entirely, abortion is not going to disappear. It'll be driven underground. So it is going to do more harm than good. So it facilitates this necessity of balance of some kind, the ideological and the pragmatic. Because the problem isn't the political aspect, it's a cultural aspect. It is possible to have a society that has abortion on the books as an option, but it's rarely used because the society is more morally orientated. But here is something about the left that really pisses me off. Okay, there's a lot that pisses me off, but this one in particular is a doozy, and it ties in really well with their whole two-faced nature of our democracy. The left does not understand that this hardened push towards being pro-life is their fault. They don't quite seem to get that their behavior is abhorrent, their actions have consequences, and the silent majority does not approve. It's very difficult to hear the silent majority given the fact that they're silent. It's even more difficult when you're a technophile spastic with your head up your ass. If they had simply stuck to safe, legal, and rare, I would wager most people probably wouldn't care as much. But because they took to the streets, celebrating the act, well, it turns out most people find that kind of distasteful, seeing as it makes the left look like they're morally reprehensible abominations. But nevertheless, the reaction has been hilariously disturbing, because you can really tell who are the law-lacking morons who've been swept into the group outrage. Because, big surprise, the pro-abortionists are all in blue states, which makes it all the funnier because for these pink-head shrieking freaks, nothing is gonna change, you mindless ding-dongs. The federal aspect will be removed, but you are in a pro-abortion state. What the hell are you getting so feral over? And if it's not feral over that, oh my lord, go on social media and look at the conceptualized worldview post the overturning of Roe versus Wade in the mind of a leftist. It is deliciously insane. Thinking they're gonna ban interracial marriage and take away women's right to vote. Like, are you people nuts? Have you seen the conservative movement over the last 100 years? They don't conserve shit. Well, what do you expect them to do? Be dormant for well over a century and then suddenly now go uber traditionalist to you? The conservatives don't have the balls to do shit that's based. I'm being slightly facetious on the base part. Sorta. But when it comes to the democratic argument, oh lord, do I want to roll out the cannon because it is a buzzword that means fuck all at this point. As if these people ever give a monkey's nuts about democracy. Because it's only democracy when it's a cause they think they have approval for. Otherwise, they will always bitch about protecting minority groups or rights or causes or something or the other. But should the Republican side get a majority opinion for a cause they champion, one that is contradictory to the lefties' fringe minorities, oh, then it's right back to protecting the minority side and screaming tyranny from the bloody rooftops. Case in point, the loudest morons scream about the pro-lifers whilst living in a blue state and not realizing a red state is majority pro-life. You look at this and think, would you fucking assholes please, for once, be consistent in something other than your own hypocrisy? And if you're pro-choice in a red state, just go to a bloody blue state and get the procedure done. My word, how often in your life do you plan on getting an abortion? It's not exactly a top-up service now, is it? If it's more than once, I'd say you're fucked up. Heaven's sake, there's abstaining from sex, there's contraceptives, there's the morning after pill. Abortion is your last and final option. Maybe I'm afforded the luxury of not being reduced to hysterical stupidity on the count of having a penis. Who knows? Here's a reason for the stupid outcry. Republicans dislike the federal government. They are pro-states' rights. Democrats are the opposite. They are pro-federal government. Big shocker, they're the totalitarians after all. And they abhor states' rights. Hell, they carry on as if individual states don't even exist. Case in point, this issue right here. Hell, you can even cite this piss-poor article for evidence of that. But if you read a lefty article, watch how they write. They will use polls citing approval for cause X, Y, and Z, never mentioning how each individual state feels about it, which is difficult to do. There's 50 of them after all. Great example, Manchin opposing the Build Back Better Act. And when he wouldn't vote for it, Manchin was public enemy number one. But Manchin's job is not to represent the wishes of the feckless federal government. His job is to represent the wishes of his constituents back in West Virginia. And if you looked at what they said about the Build Back Better Act, they were not in favor of Joe Biden's agenda, so Manchin voted no. What happened to Manchin's approval thereafter? Oh, it went up. What a shocker. These people are shrieking nannies. And speaking of shrieking nannies, let's look at a viral one.
We don't even have paid family leave. We don't even have affordable childcare in this freaking country. Okay, and the people who fight against those kinds of laws are Republicans.
And yet...
What do you want them to do with their kids when they have to go to work?
Well, Anna, a better question might be, why does the state need to provide it, or subsidize it rather, or why a man working a job can't provide for a whole household like before? Or what did you do before Roe versus Wade? Raise them. Because our grandparents would have massive families and a far bigger set of balls than our piss-poor generation.
What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? I want them to answer that freaking question. Answer the question. Journalists, ask them the question. Ask them. Ask them.
Isn't it amazing?
Ask them the goddamn question.
Would someone please get this woman a Coke and Snickers and tell her to shut the fuck up? My word, Anna, you're in a blue state. This isn't gonna affect you. You're still gonna have your baby-killing apparatus. Would you calm the fuck down?
God.
Isn't it amazing that not one Democrat has shown 1% of the passion that Anna has today?
I think Elizabeth Warren may have, while she was being led by the hand shaking with fury, that 0.0001% of Apache blood really kicking in there. Oh, goodness, what a shit show. And secondly, Jank, the reason for that is they would go viral on social media looking completely fucking unhinged. Which is where I found this clip of Anna going viral and the comments saying she's fucking unhinged. It's not exactly an electable quality.
They don't care. They're
don't
fine.
care.
They're
They don't
fine.
care.
They're all so old, they don't even have to worry about it affecting them. And if they're young enough where it would affect them, they'll get their abortion.
They're gonna fly to
They're
Paris.
training individuals.
To fly to Paris? What the fuck, Jank? They're Democrats in blue states. They'll get it in their own state, you fat bastard.
Stocks, enriching themselves. They're good. They're good. They don't care about you. Make sure you understand that and you feel it in your bones. They don't care about you at all.
Does anyone else find it funny she was bitching about the Republicans at the start and now it's completely switched to fuck Democrat Anna mode? This is actually sad to watch and kind of infuriating at the same time because she concedes that both sides suck. But never in a million years might she come to the logical conclusion that the apparatus itself is the crux of the problem. So she will forever be in this perpetual state of activate Banshee Now mode.
All of that fundraising, all of that canvassing, all of that hard work on the ground, they can't even get a voting rights bill passed.
Wow, Anna, you really can't remember much, can you? Back to mansion we go. You might remember, or not actually, the filibuster was the reason for that not getting passed. Controversial to say the least, it would have made voting much more susceptible to fraud, and there were many a video going viral of the same people moaning about the filibuster now, about 20 years ago, refusing to shred it because it's a vital pillar protecting our democracy. You know who was in favor of that? Barack Obama. Because, career politicians don't have principles or morals. No, they'll pretty much do whatever the hell they can get away with.
They're losers!
If she thinks they're losers now, oh boy, wait till November comes around. It's going to be hilarious. But anyway, I will end the video on this note. George Carlin famously said, "Doesn't it strike you as mildly ironic that all the people who are against abortion are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place?" To which I say, be thankful the people who are pro-choice are people you don't want to fucking breed in the first place. Always a silver lining. And that's all for today. Enjoy your weekend.